on the day of the 30th of January, 2015. My life changed forever. I was in the kitchen, like I normally do, on a Friday, getting the kids' uniform ready for school on Monday, which is something I always do, preparing their uniform from the Thursday, and I get them ironed and everything ready for Monday. I was on the phone with a friend when I heard that knock on the door. The person carry on knocking and knocking. And I'm saying to myself, in fact, before I said to the person on the phone, I will call her back. I hang up, but the person carry on knocking, but not just using the doorbell. They use the doorbell also, the letter flap, the door knocker, and they kept on knocking, banging on the door. I stayed in the kitchen and I shouted out. I normally call my son, Noon. I said, Noon, can you open the door? You have your key. The person carried on knocking, and they were knocking, and they were knocking. I got up from the front room, I left the iron, from the kitchen, I went into the front room. I looked through the window. There I saw these flashing blue lights. And first I said to myself, I hope my son wasn't in any accident. The person carried on knocking, and they were knocking, and they were knocking, using the letter flap, the ring, everything. They were knocking and knocking. I ran downstairs. When I got to the front door, I was greeted by 2 police officers, a lady and a man. They showed me their badge as to saying who they were. The man asked me, he said to me, "Are you Jessica Plummer?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Are you the mother of Shaquan Sammy-Plummer?" I said, "Yes." He said, "We need you to get ready to come to the to the hospital with us because your son was involved in an accident." The lady turned around and said to me, "You need to get your coat. You need to get your bag. You need to get some money, your bus pass." When she said that, I got very weak. I fell on the step. She helped me up. I walked up the stairs. I had on my nightshirt. She followed me all the way to the top because it's 2 flights up. I quickly put on the trousers. I didn't wet myself. She helped me again. Got dressed. She then asked me who was in the house with me at the time. I said it was my son, Andre. She said that Andre should come with me. I called Andre. We walked down the stairs. I said to Andre, "Could you please tell your dad to meet us at the hospital?" The police officer, the lady, turned around and said to Andre, "Please tell your dad to meet us at the London hospital in Whitechapel." And we drove off with the flashing blue light on and the car speeding. I had my fingers crossed, and I was praying, and I prayed, and I prayed that nothing happened to my son. It was the longest ride ever. And I'm saying to myself, "Lord God, please, I'm begging you, make my son be okay." When we got to the hospital, there was a double door on my left. Inside of that was the accident and emergency. It was packed with police officers. I kept on asking the lady, "Is my son okay?" She told me that she did not know. She asked me to come into a room. I was there all on my own. I waited. Not too long after, Shaquan dad came in. When he came in, he said to me, "Plummer, what happened to Noon?" I said, "Jerome, I don't know. I'm still waiting." Within seconds, the room was covered with family, friends, even my priest came over. God. We waited and waited. Still nothing. But the police officer came over and she kept on asking me if I was okay, which I wasn't. Not too long after, a man in an orange suit came over to me and asked me the same question again. Are you Jessica Plummer? I said yes. He then came and asked me to sit down. I sat down, and he came and he was kneeling in front of me. And he said to me, did I want the good or the bad news? I said I wanted the bad news. He then said to me that your son was stabbed and he died. I said no. I said he was lying. He then asked me to come and see the body. I was so scared. I was so scared. I said no. And today I regret it. Because I would love to see my son, to feel him. But I wasn't able to. Anyway, we stayed at the hospital for a long while. They asked me to come into the chapel. I said no. I kept on asking everybody in there, did you guys see my son? Everybody said no. They were trying to comfort me. That's not what I wanted. I wanted my son back. We got home. When we got home, I was told what happened. Shaquan left that Friday. When he was leaving my house, because Shaquan was working at the time, he was doing 2 jobs. He was working with Waitrose from Wednesday to Friday, and on the Saturday he was working with Tottenham Hotspur serving, and he was doing his A-levels at the time. He came back home about 3 o'clock and had to go to work because I thought he was going to work. He came into the mirror because he was very vain, looking into the mirror and saying to me, Mommy, look at your peng, son. When he said that, I'm saying, no, hurry up, you're going to be late for work. No, Mommy, look at your peng, son, Mommy, look at your peng, son. I said, no, stop, man, come on, go. Nung left, he walked downstairs. When he was walking down, he got outside. I followed him. I said, Nung, remember to be a leader, not a follower. Because I raised Shaquan, Chantel, Andre as like how I was brought up back in the West Indies. He walked off. When he was going, my neighbor Rachel said to me, Jess, leave him alone. You know your kids are good. They are well-mannered. They behave good. Just leave him. The last I saw of my son was when he walked off and he waved. And that was the last time I spoke to my son and I saw him. He left. On that day, 2 friends invited him out. He went with the friends. I learned that they went to McDonald's. They had a meal. And from there, one of the friends was dating the boy who stabbed my son. And he was dating the boy's sister. And they were having a party at the home. So they called the sister. The sister then they called the sister to ask permission for them to bring in the 2 friends, which was Shaquan and another friend. And the sister said, no, can we wait? I need to ask my brother first. And she said, okay, I will call you back in about half an hour. They waited. Within that half an hour, they did not hear from the girl. So they then called back. The girl said to make their way to the house, and the brother will address them when they get to the door. By then, they went into Budgeon's, I think. They bought some drink, and Shaquan bought a can of drink, and he had some sweets in a bag in his right hand. When he got to the door, Jamal asked which is the person who stabbed Shaquan, asked for the bag that Shaquan was carrying. Shaquan said no. He insisted on Shaquan giving him the bag. Shaquan said no. Anyway, to cut a long story short, Shaquan then while standing at the door, Jamal carried on, and I think they most probably had some kind of argument or something, I'm not too sure. Shaquan turned around and said to the friends, you know what, forget about it, and he walked away. He was about maybe 4 or 5 doors down. When Jamal went upstairs, took a knife, came out of the door, followed Shaquan, stabbed him, and said to the friends, if anything happened to you, to him, it's on you, which was the friends. And by then, he ran off. And we waited for some kind of, I think he was gone for like about 10 days or 15 days, I'm not too sure. By then, the police came together. They put in a case where a date was set for us to go for a trial at the Old Bailey. By then, I lost my dad the September of 2015 to cancer. So I had to then leave London and travel to the States to go bury my dad. And then I then came back to London. When I came back, I got a phone call from the police officers, the detectives, in fact, telling me that Jamal Williams was charged with Shaquan's murder. We set up a date, which was the 11th of April, 2016. And we went into the Old Bailey for the trial. But by then, my daughter Chantel was studying, considering all her pain. Chantel graduated with honors in science. She studied biochemistry. That day, I was so happy. I left upstairs when Chantel came down and said, Mommy, I passed. Mommy, I'm graduating. Mommy, I'm graduating. I was so excited. I ran downstairs, and I went outside and shouted, oh my God, I was shouting out to everybody, all the neighbors, Chantel made it, considering her pain. Chantel graduated. But then, everything unfolded, the case was still coming together. I'll tell you a little bit about my son. My son was very, very vain. Shaquan used to tell me how to dress and say, Mommy, come on, you need to dress up. You need to have a bit of swag, Mommy. Come on, you need to have swag. And I'm thinking, what is swag? What is pain? What is all these things Shaquan talking about? And he was very, very inquisitive. Shaquan have his name and everything all over, everywhere in my house, from the television to the phone, everything in my house. Shaquan is the one into every little thing. Everything Shaquan set up. Now to get everything off, it's difficult because his password is in everything, so I've got to redo everything, because that's the kind of person he was. He was kind of different from Chantel, Andre, and Shaquan, like Andre and Chantel, because I have 3 children, which is Chantel, she's 27, Andre, who's 22, and I've also just had a granddaughter, which was born on Christmas Day, which is Shemaiah. And with that being said, being home, cooking, because I love cooking. So on a Sunday, I'll do the English breakfast, and I'll cook the rice and peas, the fried fish, the curry mutton, and I'll do the works. Shaquan will come downstairs, and I'm listening to my gospels on a Sunday. He will come, switch off the music, steal the chicken, and run back upstairs and say to me, Mommy, look, your legs is no good, Mommy. You cannot run, Mommy. Look. Or if I'm in the bath, because they normally help me because of my disability. Sometimes they have to help me on a bad day to help me bath. And he will be the one running downstairs, getting the cold water and sending it. Like he will send the water on me in the bathroom. And I'm telling you, I do miss him because, like I say, Andre and Chantel, they are different. But by then, anyway, a date was set. We went into the Old Bailey, and Jamal Williams was charged with Shaquan murder, and he was sentenced to 24 years, life without parole. Straight after the December of 2016, he put in an appeal. The thing that hurt the most is sitting at that appeal and looking at him on the camera, not the camera, the television. And when they said how he killed Shaquan, Jamal was laughing. I felt so hurt because I was crying. They had me to leave the courtroom, and I will never forget that. But now I go into schools and I share my story together with the school's officer, and I try to educate young people about the implication of using a knife and how it's affecting not only me as a victim, but other victims, and it's also affecting our community. And I give them the young people, I give them a voice by listening, not judging them, listening very carefully as to what they say, and to try and help them as best as I can, because we need that. And today I am grateful for doing that. I'm also now a parent champion for Islington and Camden. And The way I look at things now is, as a community, we need to work together to try and achieve what we want to get to the root of the problem, because working as a community, we will all achieve something and will be able to change the life of many others. Thank you.